Yeah.
Yeah, if it's very instinctive, he tends to score. So yeah, hopefully Arteta will learn these lessons, and if they keep him, I will shed a tear. I'm not banging for him to leave per se, but if he leaves, I'm okay with it. If he stays, I think he should.
Watch Transit TV right now.
I'm Tochku Michael. Keep watching Transit TV.
Transit TV, let's talk about, there's this talk that Arsenal needs to sign a left winger. Sometimes as fans, we get emotionally engrossed into watching games, and sometimes we react out of emotion. But I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, what are the options out there? And sometimes we forget that we have Martinelli and Trossard who play in that position. And if Arsenal goes and signs the striker, I know sometimes Trossard plays as a false nine because we only have Kai Havertz. So if Arsenal goes to sign a striker right now, they're going to have Kai Havertz and the striker going for that position. Then you have Martinelli and Trossard on the left side. So if we're going to sign another wide left wing player, that means one of them has to go. So the question now for you, Gumi, is which of these players should go? Should Arsenal sell? Between Trossard and Martinelli.
I'll sell Martinelli.
Why?
I'll sell Martinelli. Because Martinelli is a good player, solid player, good talent, but for that wide left position, he has underwhelmed for me. He was able to meet up to the high standards expected for one season. Since that season, he hasn't been consistent enough.
So will you take Semenyo?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I set you up for this. Let me give you some numbers. This season, Semenyo played 3,029 minutes. Martinelli played 2,139 minutes. That's almost 1,000 more.
Yeah.
Semenyo has 9 goals and 5 assists. Martinelli has 8 goals and 4 assists. Semenyo has 38 shots on target. Martinelli has 22. Semenyo lost possession 500 times. Martinelli lost possession 336 times. Semenyo has 122 completed dribbles. Martinelli has 90 completed dribbles. And this is a bad season for Martinelli. From what we saw him do this season, put this in context. Sometimes I don't know whether we get sold, including me that is speaking, certain attributes of a player that we like. And when it really comes to the things that really make the team win, if we really want our teams to win, maybe either we don't know it or don't pay attention to it. With these numbers, would you still think that Semenyo is better than Martinelli?
Yes. There are some, for me, there are things that surpass just
statistics, of course, but these are core of that wing, of that position. Completed dribbles and assists.
Yes. I'll also put into context the teams they play for. I'll put into context the kind of opportunities that those teams create. I'll put into context the level of efficiency compared to the kind of opportunities they create. I'm not saying Martinelli is a bad player. I'm just saying that he has personally frustrated me so many times. When the chips are down,
what your expectation of him?
I'll
come back to you. But let me ask Arnold briefly. Arnold, before rounds up his argument, between Trossard and Martinelli, who would you want Arsenal to sell, and if so, why?
Honestly, I'd sell Trossard instead of Martinelli. Not because Trossard's been bad for us or anything. I think it's just time for him to be moved on. Because I still think Martinelli can provide us with can still give us something in the next 2 to 3 seasons. Whereas Trossard is getting older, he's getting slower, and he's getting physically weaker. So he's not going to be able to keep up with the intensity at which we play at. And the only other position he would be able to play at that time would be striker, but he can't play striker because he's not built for how we want our striker to be like. I'd say Martinelli because earlier today actually, I was looking at all the left wingers that were there because I've been thinking, what are the left wingers that we can name off the top of our head? I was looking at Leao, I was looking at Lookman, I was looking at Rodrygo because we've been linked to him as well. But I've been looking at Martinelli, I'm looking at Leao, specifically Leao. I was like, these guys have similar. They've played almost the same amount of games. I think Martinelli's played 250 games. Leao's played like 270 games. Rodrygo's played 200 and something more games than Martinelli, and they've all scored around 50 goals for their current club that they're at right now. I just checked right now, and Rodrygo has like 68 goals. I think Martinelli has 51 goals. So there's not that many options out there when it comes to right wingers. Yes, there's more when it comes to like right wing when you say Saka, Salah, all of them. But when it comes to left wing, there's not really much options. The only other options there is Mbappe and Vinicius, and we're not getting them from Madrid. So if we're really going to sell one of the two, it'd have to be Trossard and just keep hoping that. Oh, and even Nico Williams, I've been hearing about him too. I'm not really convinced about Nico Williams as well. I think he's still too young. If he was putting up numbers like Yamal, I can understand and where we're coming from. But even then, although there is one winger I was looking at earlier, and it was Lookman, and he played 100 less games than almost all the players I mentioned, and he scored at least, I think, because it's right here in front of me, he scored at least 52. It doesn't sound like much, but he's played considerably less games at Atalanta and still put up numbers similar to Leao and Rodrygo and them. So it's something to look at in the future.
Yeah, I think I agree with most of the things you said. So let's get back to you. Haven't heard Arnold right there. I don't know how are you going to round up this one.
Arnold, he mentioned someone.
Lookman.
Oh yes. Please, I will take Lookman ahead of Semenyo. Definitely, I will take Lookman ahead of all of them, including Trossard,
including Nico Williams.
Including Nico Williams.
But Nico Williams is the one that's interesting to me. I don't know why all the noise about him. If you check his numbers, he doesn't score goals. He doesn't really create. But I think it's because of what he did in the Euros with Yamal that make people, the noises. And he's a very ridiculous salary of over $200,000 pounds a week. I don't know who's going to pay that kind of money for those numbers. So, I'm taking you back on Martinelli versus Semenyo. Just like what Arnold was saying, I cannot share his sentiment because if you look at it very well, I think it's more of our expectation for Martinelli. And sometimes he just like Arteta, he put himself in that pedestal that he has made us to expect statistical. Semenyo, on the other hand, taking on your argument, that the team that he plays, Bournemouth plays more on a counter. They most of the time they play on low block and play on the transition. So he's bound to have those opportunities, because when they go forward, there's going to be space for him. But whereas Arsenal teams play low block against us, so it's difficult for our players to even manufacture chances and score goals. Though I agree with you 100%, Martinelli sometimes he does all that hard work, get into positions, and sometimes it just frustrates. So I would go for letting Trossard go if we have to sign somebody else. But for me, what I really think that affected Arsenal this season was before the injuries, lack of numbers in terms of players, the options up front. Because today you have Kai Havertz there, or we need to, like I've always said, Liverpool has 2 players in that front. They have about 6 players across that front line. So if you have those kind of numbers, sometimes Martinelli is off form. You play Trossard, just both of them on that wing. They don't focus on them. All these false 19, sometimes Trossard is playing as a 10. You don't need it. And again, I'm going to hold Arteta on this one. Talking about strikers, few times that we've had Martinelli play from the middle. He has caused several problems for any defense. I don't
I
know why he's
completely
not
agree.
played in that position that much.
I completely
Sometimes,
agree.
I don't know if you have also paid attention toward the end of this season in the Champions League and even against Liverpool. That has pushed Saka sometimes to make middle or to jettison the right wing and go to the middle of the attack. And he has, so I think Arteta also needs to look at himself next season. He needs to be a little bit more fluid. Putting Saka stationed on the right side, Martinelli on the left side, I don't think it's very, very important. Sometimes the team needs to be unpredictable. So we need more of bodies than specialists. Exactly, because the players we have are not bad. It's just that they are overworked. Today, Martinelli is playing on, Tosa is playing on the right side. Tomorrow, he's playing as a first line. Before you know it, is in the middle. So sometimes he can confuse players. So just have two players like Gakpo. Gakpo is different from Diaz. Diaz can take on players, but Gakpo scores more goals from that position because all he wants to do is cut in and bend it. So you need to have those kind of variations from those kind of players and have more numbers so that you can have options. I don't know, but I don't know what you think about that.
I agree with you. I think our manager needs to be more flexible. He needs to. We've talked about it before. He needs to also allow a bit more freedom for the players to express themselves more. And actually, based on this particular fact you've mentioned, that's really the only thing that I would consider to leave Martinelli for not selling for, because every time he's played in the middle, he is a very difficult player to handle. He makes very intelligent runs in the middle, right? And he's spacey. And then once he gets behind you, it's hard. The only problem with that young man is like your workout. If you give him enough time, he'll miss it. Yeah. If it's very instinctive, he tends to score. So hopefully Arteta will learn these lessons, and if they keep him, I will shed a tear. I'm not banging for him to leave per se, but if he leaves, I'm okay with it. If he stays, I think he should play more towards the middle. That will help him a lot. Yeah,
we need that flexibility in the front three. Arteta needs to allow these players to move around. Like I said, I've seen Martinelli go through the middle and cause a lot of havoc against defense because he has a devastating pace. He doesn't need to be ahead of you. He can even be behind before the pass goes in and still get ahead of you on the ball. I don't know. Do you have anything to add before we round up?
Yeah, no, because I pretty much agree with everyone's statements. Just because, again, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of players on that occupy the left wing position that's there and that's available for us. PSG already have Barcola, they have Kvaratskhelia, they have Doué, they have all left wingers, and then there's other teams as well. So there's not really much we can really do about it right now. But if we can get someone like Rodrygo, and then we saw someone like Trossard, I wouldn't be too mad at that as well.
Yeah, of course, Rodrygo comes. If you have Rodrygo on the left, you have Saka on the right, and you can see your middle. Yeah, I don't think Arteta has any excuse to give company of the season if he doesn't win the league or win the Champions League. I mean, Rodrygo, that would be a man. For the past 2 seasons now, you and I have been silently under our table praying that somehow the Arsenal should just capture Rodrygo. I just pray that one comes to pass, and I believe with him in that front side, I don't think Arsenal will tell stories next season. And he's a player that doesn't really get injured that much. So, and the good thing, by God's grace, Saka has come through the scare of, when you go for long injuries and come back, most likely you go back again before you get yourself. But it looks like the young man has passed through that test. Hopefully next season will be ready. Martinelli too will be ready. The Odegaard will be ready. If these boys can be rested and stay injury free next season, I don't think anything will stop them if Arsenal do the necessary add-ons that they need to do this summer. So guys, let us know what you think about this topic, these things we have discussed. Martinelli, Semenyo, who will you take if you're an Arsenal fan? And if you're a neutral fan out there, what is your take on this? And let us know also in the comment section what we want to discuss. What are the prevailing rumors for your club? Chelsea fans, Manchester United fans, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham out there. Let us know what you want us to discuss come the next of this show. And very soon we'll be going live on days. We'll be doing a live podcast so that we can interact with you guys as on real time as we discuss these topics. Ugum, thank you so much one more time for stopping by and giving your insight in this one. Ahmad, you've scared to your baptism of fire today. We enjoyed your insight. You had a very, very good performance, and we hope you can stop by more and join us in this show.
Yeah, thank you very much for
we look
having
forward
me.
to seeing you next time, okay?
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, boy.
All right.
Yeah, guys, see you guys next time. Ciao.
All right. Bye.